Welcome to CryptoBuyology. I am AK, and you are watching/listening to episode 1. Now, there are a lot of people out there already doing podcasts and videocasts about cryptocurrency, but I don't feel they are covering everything. Sure, they're covering the market recaps. They're covering which ICOs to invest in, which coins are hot, which coins are cold, what to buy, what to sell, when to sell, technical analysis. But they're not covering perspective. They're not covering alternative perspectives on how to look at things. And that's what I feel I am here to do. So everybody else can do those things, and everybody's doing it great. But I will be here to help you gain a better perspective that will ultimately lead to making more money, which I think that's probably the goal, and to do it with less stress. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is, what is your intention on being in cryptocurrency? So think about that for a second. What are your intentions? Again, of course, everybody is in it to make money. That's a given. But there's a big difference in that question. So are you in it to make a ton of money? Are you in it to make a little bit of money? And of course, everybody wants to make a lot of money. But not everybody can. Because when one person wins, one person loses. So anyway, my point is, what is your intention on being in cryptocurrency? So scan your mind, figure out why you're in it. So you could be in it to just make as much money as you possibly can, to make it big, to try, like maybe your goal is $1 million. Or maybe you're in it to have some supplemental income to your salary job, where maybe you want to buy a new car and you need, $200-$300 a month for that payment, extra from what you're already making. Or maybe you're trying to get out of your 9-to-5 job and replace that income with crypto income. So taking on cryptocurrency trading as a job, a full-time job. So you can see how all of these different ways of wanting to make money, or reasons to be in the crypto atmosphere, they're all different, and they all lead to different things. So for instance, if I'm trying to replace my salary job, then I have a set amount of money that I need to make to pay my bills. So that's vastly different from just needing some supplemental income, or vastly different from, I just have $5,000 lying around and I want to see how much I can possibly make. I'm going to risk big. So your intention is everything, because your intention of why you're in the crypto space ultimately defines how you trade, or should define how you trade. Because if you're trying to cover your salary, you shouldn't be risking everything. You should be looking for steady growth and not huge, huge highs. Because when you chase those extreme highs, you are going to attract extreme lows. That's why they say, high reward, or low risk, high reward. That's why that saying is, because, opposites attract. So when you're ultimately looking for that high, the opposite of that outcome is that extreme low. So again, if you're trying to replace your salary income, you don't want to be looking for that. You want to stay away from those extreme lows. So again, what is your intention in getting into cryptocurrency? So if my intention was to replace my 9-to-5 job, what I would do is I would break it down into how much money do I need to make a month? So let's say that my current salary after taxes, because the government needs to get theirs, or either my current salary or all my bills, I need $6,000 a month to make it. Let's just say that. That's not, I'm just using that as an example. So if I need $6,000 a month, and let's pretend Bitcoin right now is $6,000. It's a little shy right at the moment, but let's say Bitcoin is $6,000 just to make the math a little easier. So that means I need to gain 1 Bitcoin a month to be able to break even or live comfortably. Whatever I've determined that $6,000 entails. So if I need to make 1 Bitcoin, then ultimately what we want to do is break that up into smaller amounts. So I need to make 1 Bitcoin. There's 4 weeks in a month as an estimate. We break that down. So I need to make a quarter of a Bitcoin, 0.25 BTC a week to ultimately reach my goal for that month. And if we say, okay, we don't want to trade on weekends, we still want weekends off. So there's 5 business days in a week. You take that 0.25, divide it into 5. So ultimately you end up with 0.05 BTC. So that's how much you need to make in one day to ultimately reach your goal of 1 Bitcoin a month and ultimately replace your salary for that month and ongoing. So when you break it down, it seems pretty easy. All you have to do is make 0.05 BTC a day. Now, of course, it depends on how much BTC you're trading with as to how fast you can make that in a day. Obviously, you don't want to be quitting your day job and needing to make 1 Bitcoin if you only have like a quarter of a Bitcoin to do that trading. So let's just say we have 1 Bitcoin. I would say that you should have a lot more Bitcoin before you quit your job. But let's just say we have 1 Bitcoin to ultimately do our day trading. So that means you have 1 Bitcoin that you need to invest. You need to make 0.05. That means all you needed to go up is 5%. So you need to make 1 trade a day and make 5% on that trade. So that's pretty easy, right? And we can come to this conclusion because we have clarified our intentions. Our intentions are to replace our salary. That's why I'm getting into crypto, is to replace my salary of $6,000 a month. And of course, this is an example. So when you clarify your intentions, then you know how you need to trade. And you need to stick to that. Because if you know you need to make 0.05 a day, but then you go and you throw all of your Bitcoin on some shitcoin, that shitcoin of the day that somebody's pumping, and then the bag holders dump it all on you, then you're shit out of luck. You're taking a big loss there. So I hope you guys can see how clarifying your intentions means everything. So let's say that somebody has $5,000 that they just have lying around, and they're pretty well off. They're taking in per month. They're saving $2,000 a month, but they want to throw $5,000 and see what they can make with it. Well, with that $5,000, then you probably want to throw it on an ICO or something easy where the returns can be big. So if you throw that on a well-researched ICO, and lately the hyped ICOs aren't really having those big returns. It's usually the ICOs that have a low coin supply and a low market cap at first are the ones that have been making the most gains. But anyway, so maybe you take that $5,000 and you throw it on an ICO, and it comes out and you make 3-4x. Boom. See? That's easy. But the other side of that is it's an ICO. So, maybe the coin never goes on a real exchange for 6 to 8 months. That's a realistic thing. I mean, I bought into the Wager ICO, and it's still not on a real exchange. But again, they wanted to wait until they got to their mainnet and they could release their own coin, and I get that, and I'm fine with that. I've just been buying it up every chance I can get, but that's realistic. You may have to wait. So if that $5,000, if you don't need that $5,000, you can risk it a lot more. But if you need it, then you need to get your intentions straight and make sure that you're trading based on your needs and not your wants. So not everybody can trade the same way. So I see people out there who haven't clarified their intentions, and I've been observing this for a while, and they're getting really emotional and they're chasing highs. And when you chase highs, you find lows. Maybe you can hitch a ride onto a pump coin a few times, but sooner or later it's going to bite you, and it's going to bite you the majority of the time. You're going to buy on a high and right before the dip, and you're going to become a bag holder. So again, everybody says you always want to buy on the dip. It's true. You want to buy on a dip unless it's a coin that's gradually going up. And one example I can give is Metaverse ETP on Bitfinex. You can go look at it. Go look at its chart. Recently, it's just been going up gradually, and every so often it will dip. And if you look at the RSI, you can see when it's oversold or undersold, and you can see that it just keeps bouncing off that, and it never goes hyperbolic where it goes straight up in the air, because when you're chasing that kind of movement, you're gonna get dumped on. It's just a fact. So I hope all of you out there can really understand what I'm saying with clarifying your intentions, because that is the most important thing that you need to do in order to become successful. When I first got into crypto, I didn't know what my intentions were. I just knew that I just want to play around with this and see what I can do. And of course, once I learned more, then I was like, okay, well, I can kind of make some good money doing this. And I went through some really big losses before I ultimately had to sit down and have a talk with myself and really, really, really clarify my intentions. I mean, I went through some big losses. I'm not talking about I lost all my money, but what I'm saying is I didn't sell when I had a lot of money and I had all my money on one coin. So I didn't sell, and ultimately, I lost all of that money that could have been. So I'm not saying that I lost my shirt or I'm in the red, but all I'm saying is that I didn't make a smart decision to sell at that time. So since I have clarified my intentions with myself, sure, I've still slipped and made mistakes, but right after I learn, I have had steady and gradual growth since then. And I think I'm up 800%, and that's been since right before the BCC fork, end of July is really when I clarified my intentions. So I'm telling you, give it a try. Sit down with even if you need to write it out, do the math, figure out what your intentions are, what your goals are, and then stick to it. Give it a try. Fight the urge to chase. So that's your lesson, guys. That's episode 1. I will be covering more of these types of topics, more of these perspective changes to help you wrap your mind around different perspectives and how to look at cryptocurrency and how to make better trades. So I've started a few Telegram groups. The links will be down below in the comments. Please like it if you get something out of it. If you gain value out of it, leave comments below. I'd like some constructive feedback. And I'm really trying to start a community of really intelligent, thought-provoking, constructive people where we can all get together and share this information and help each other with our goals, help each other make some money. And and not get stuck with scams or bag holding. So thank you for listening, and check in on our next episode.